Currently, the human population stands at 7.6 billion and it is growing. Cities like New York, Tokyo, New Delhi, and Sao Paulo are running in the millions. In the 1950s, New Delhi's population was at a clean 1.3 million people. The population boom was one of the biggest drastic increases in the world thus far. In 2010, they'd hit 18.6 million. In 2018, they now stand at 27.9 million. Now, we want to deal with the immediate issues, which include the lack of resources, improving commercial and residential infrastructure, and massive pollution, which is a health risk. What we don't think about is the animals that are affected by the population boom. There is one special person we would like to talk about, and his name is Maddie. He is one of the 30,000 monkeys residing in the streets on New Delhi. Maddie is a langur that originates in South Asia. He guards it from the more populated red rhesus monkeys that all cause trouble all over the city. The rhesus rob from the street vendors, terrorize people in the parks, and they hang out in the street. They regularly steal food, alcohol, glasses, medical equipment, and even clothes. They even break into cars. India's residents before used the langurs as a way to scare away the rhesus. The only reason that these animals roam the streets is because of the amount of habitat destroyed to hold the current 27.9 million. Now, it's illegal to keep langurs. They are a protected species as of November 2012. The government created the India's Wildlife Protection Act, which established up to 3 years in jail for the trading, ownership, or hiring of langurs. We shouldn't have to rely on other animals to control the indigenous species that was there before. There's no balance, and Maddie can't do this on his own. We live in Charlotte, home of the Carolina Panthers. Where are they, though? Panthers roam from Florida to Kentucky, which includes North Carolina's mountains. By the early 20th century, extensive hunting combined with a decrease in the population of Panther's primary prey, white-tailed deer, and deforestation in its natural habitat had made the panther very rare throughout the southeast, except in a small area of southern Florida. Of course, currently, there are only 80 left that occupy North Carolina's mountains, making them one of the most endangered animals in the world. In our community, we should find a way to save the animals that we essentially symbolize as our strength and power. Now comes the largest of all land beasts, elephants, which are thundering, trumpeting 6-ton monuments to the wonder of evolution, hunted and poached for the points of their ivory tusks, designed to defend, but ultimately the cause of their ruin. Back in northeastern India, about 110 miles from Guwahati, 5 beautiful elephants taking their daily stroll as a herd were brutally hit by an oncoming train. It derailed, killing 4 of them and leaving 1 badly injured. The proximity from the tracks and where the herd is occupied should be a good enough amount of space so that these animals are left unharmed from human activities. In Asia, it is estimated that less than 50,000 elephants remain, more than half of them in India, which are likely enslaved. Some experts see the brutal killings of elephants not as a battle for commodity but for land. As the human population increases, so does the demand for space. But is there anything being done to stop this? Save Maddie from doing what he's not meant to do. Make sure those panthers run through the mountains again. And make sure that a family of elephants get to walk through the forest not afraid of the presence of humans. Well, in many countries, ivory can be sold legally, usually sourced from stockpiles or from elephants killed before the ban, allowing antiques to be traded. Cities had raised concerns that unregulated domestic markets in China, Japan, Myanmar, and Vietnam allow freshly killed ivory to join legal stock on the shelves, fueling the poaching crisis. Of course, if elephants or any other animal sense danger, they are sure to attack, calling for retaliation from humans. In India, each year, around 400 people are killed by panicked or enraged elephants. In defense to themselves, wildlife authorities hunt down the problematic elephants. We need to figure out a way for humans and animals to coexist, or we need the population growth to slow down. In China, for instance, the former leader of China, Deng Xiaoping, aimed to slow the country's rapid population rise. In 1979, he created the one-child policy. It was made to pressure couples into having no more than one child, especially in urban areas. Those in rural areas were allowed to have 2 only if the first was a female or disabled. In response to this, it rapidly decreased the fertility rate of 5% to 1.7. Now, we see that humans are trying to implement rules in slowing the population because we're not the only ones that are affected, but the animals that we share the planet are with too.